Hey guys, welcome to the HVAC Diaries. The HVAC Diaries is brought to you by New Calgon. How are you guys this week? Oh my goodness, the summertime is just continuing to be a roller coaster of emotions. And this week, oh man, let's get right into it. This week we were called to a little nail salon that has a ductless split system in it, which is a terrible place for a ductless split. They also never, when they moved in and they did their renovations, they never provided for extraction, which is something that nail salons have. I don't know how they got away with not having any extraction. But anyway, as they're working on people's nails, all of that dust and everything is just going into the air and it's not being pulled out at all. So it's going into the air filters. Nasty. And now it seems like it's destroyed the condensate pump. Because the complaint was that the unit would run for a few minutes and then turn off. And then later on it would run for a few minutes and then turn off. And so what we found was the little condensate pump, it's a little one of those Aspen mini white pumps. It's all there's got to be all nail dust and stuff inside the motor, because the pump itself is working, but it's working very slowly and it works for a long time. So usually when those little pumps work, it's like me, and then that's it. It's sent all the water out and then it stops. But this one was just going. I don't know why I'm making the noise. Anyway, so we cleaned out the little filter in it as best we could, and we cleaned the the pump reservoir and everything. But we are going to have to do one of two things, and we've given both of these options to the landlord. He can either have the pump replaced, and he's probably going to have to replace that pump every 2 years or so. That's just going to be part of cost of doing business there. Or what we would suggest is to get rid of the pump completely and to actually drain it by gravity into the laundry room just behind the unit. We've got enough space and provisions to do that. So that's what our recommendation would be. I'm going to drain through there and maybe run a drain line down into the sink and avoid that pump completely. However, the guy is about to sell the building in total, so he just kind of wants to wash his hands of it and be done. So we'll probably be doing the pump replacement situation for him, and then who knows what the new landlord is going to do. But that condensate pump has obviously been a problem for a very, very long time. You can just see it on the walls on both sides of the unit, actually by the pump itself, and on the other side of the unit where it's overflowed and leaked out. And you can see on the baseboard on the floor, it's been leaking. It's been a problem for a long time. So I don't know why they didn't call us in earlier to take a look at it. But also the problem there is that we never installed those units. We would have liked to have an opportunity to install something there, and we would not have chosen ductless splits for a nail salon. We did an HVAC maintenance service at a place we've never worked at before, and they had the worst roof access. They had this rickety little wooden ladder going up to the roof, which didn't actually reach the roof. You had to stand on basically the ceiling beams, not the ceiling, because that would just fall right through, but you had to find a beam to stand on to get yourself actually through the hatch.
In place?
No, there was nothing up there. I just pushed it.
And it wasn't a hatch on springs like this. It was just a lid that you have to like lift up and like shimmy over, because the thing is freaking heavy. It's a metal roof hatch. So you kind of like shift it over and then you climb over. I really don't like that this roof hatch is not on some kind of a thing. I've got to lift it up and like shimmy it over, and it's really heavy and I have nowhere really to put my feet properly. Anyway, not my favorite. They had the dirtiest filters. Oh my goodness, no wonder they were having some issues there. They're like, oh, I think our units need a service. Yeah, they do. They need new filters and everything. Wow, that's some really shitty access. It's not even a proper ladder going through that door, through that. Anyway, 2 units here. This filter is so plugged up. Listen to the sound, listen to the difference in sound. Poor unit. Oh man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was looking. Nothing. Whee! What a fun game.
Film over your head.
Oh, I see. Very good. Okay, thanks. Okay, bye. Whoa! Well, that's a lot better. Now she can breathe. Poor old girl. And unfortunately, there was a wasp's nest inside. All right, we just disturbed a hornet's nest over there. Had to just run for my life real quick.
The only good thing is you gotta still move that panel off and over to the left.
I know, I still have to lift it up and then get screws in there. And those beasts are right there. Go away, I have to put my hands right there. I can feel them on me like phantom wasps. And also kind of strange, their heat exchanger was very discolored. It wasn't rusty, there were no holes or cracks or anything through it, but it was very, very discolored. So that was kind of weird.
Stainless steel is back.
It's different. So one of our regular customers, we have been doing work for them for quite a number of years, and we were quite disappointed that when they had to replace their rooftop units, they just have split units, they're not like whole package rooftop units, but anyway, when they had to replace them, they got another company to do that. And so we're kind of left with a bit of a sour taste in our mouths, and well, so this time they call us and they're like, hey, so we've had our roof redone, and instead of involving you guys, we just had the roofers lift the units up by like 3 inches. Now one of the units doesn't work. Can you come and take a look? This company recently had their roof redone, and apparently since then, one of these units hasn't worked. And apparently somebody else relocated them by like 3 inches to get that roof redone. So we're not quite sure what they've done, if there's now a refrigerant leak or if, I don't know, something else. We've got zilch. Nothing. So at this point, Trevor and I were like, there could be a leak anywhere along the line set. Maybe when they were doing the roof, they put a nail or a screw through the pipes. Who knows what we're up against here? This could take forever to figure out. So we do a preliminary leak test on the outside unit. Can't find anything conclusive there. So we decide to move inside to where the connections are on the inside unit. But their little ceiling space up there is so jumbled, and it's just so crazy and chaotic up there. Can we get through back there, or no? There's no way through. We have to get there.
Okay.
We're getting closer. I'll be able to get through here, just I'm not sure the rest of the way. Oh, shit. Oh, you got there. Oh, you're right there. That's what I'm trying to get to. Fuck, I got stuck. So we have a pretty sketchy time up there. Anyway, so we could see no visual signs of leaks or anything in the inside of the building. So we decided, okay, we're gonna go back onto the roof and we're gonna throw nitrogen in this thing, bump it up, and hopefully find something with a lot of like high pressure in there. So we grab our nitrogen bottle is empty. How are we supposed to do this job without nitrogen? So we had to go back the next day, unfortunately. This time Dad came with us. And this time we found a conclusive leak.
It's on the bottom. Okay, I got it.
So that all leaking out the bottom was just like spraying everything here. So that's why we were getting such a big reading.
Yeah.
And also those little like droplets.
Well, think about it. No matter whether this goes into a heating or a cooling, this is the supply to reversing go. So it's always high pressure.
Yeah. I guess that was just jolted when they picked up the unit.
Now all cement down a lot. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been a problem.
And we were able to repair that, get her all charged up and running.
Bob Ross sky.
We're admiring the sky right now because we've got time to kill. Clouds look very cool.
I don't think we're getting a full charge into it. Not at 11 pounds.
That crane over there is lifting an entire wall. That's really interesting. Look at those lines. That's a big wall. This week I also replaced a condenser fan motor and an HP high pressure safety switch on a Lennox rooftop unit. So today we've got a couple of jobs happening here at the packaging factory. Dad and Trevor are downstairs doing a flush on a glycol chiller, and we're doing a new glycol mix on that today. And I have come to change a condenser fan motor and a high pressure safety switch on a rooftop unit. And I got a long walk. I'm going to those units over there in the back. And we just parked on the wrong side of the building so that the guys would be closer to the chiller they're working on. These pebbles make it hard to walk on. This box is not exactly light either. Alright, so here's my unit. Let's see if this guy is locked out again. Last time we were here, it was locked out. Do we have a code? Oh, we do. 13. I bet that's going to be the HP. 13 is high pressure open. Okay, so that's the reason why I am replacing this HP switch. And also the fan motor. The fan motor was like intermittent last time, so we're just gonna eliminate that completely. It's kind of old looking. She's probably an OEM motor from original, but not anymore. We got a new one. Shouldn't have done it that way. What a rookie mistake. Fucking stupid thing to do. I should have undone this first. What a weirdo. What a weirdo thing to do. So the pressure switch has been replaced. This is the old one. We've decided to replace this one with a resettable one. This one automatically resets. So it'll do a high pressure event 3 times and it'll automatically reset. And then the 3rd time it'll lock out on that error that we found when we arrived. This one, however, will pop, and then it needs somebody like a technician to come and actually press this button and reset it. So that when that happens, we have to investigate why there was a high pressure event. So this one will go 3 times automatically and then lock out. This one will lock out like immediately, but it's resettable. So there you go. HP switch is all nicely wired in now. All the wires tucked away. There we go. Looks like I have an audience. And welcome. Please leave, sir. Let's go and chatter somewhere else. Usually I'll take note, like I'll literally write down the order that these fan wires are. Like literally I've already done that. Orange, purple, black, and then blank. So that's gonna fit into these right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Orange, purple, black. But this guy has a whole little, like a little plug. So I don't even have to do that. I just literally plug that in to the new motor. Crazy. Cool. Easy peasy. Alright, I've tried all of my tricks to get this blade off with no luck. So I'm gonna run down to the truck and grab the puller and just do it that way. Man, I'm really getting my steps in today. This pebbly roof, it's not easy to walk in. All right, with perfect timing, my camera just died, so that's lovely. Thanks a lot. That was tricky, trying to hold this motor up and getting these little bolts on. Oh shoot, it's not quite done yet. I gotta tighten them all up. But I'm done with that camera, unfortunately. Let's finish this off. Okay. All right, that's all finished. The last thing we're gonna do is replace the capacitor. Every time we change a fan motor, we'll change the capacitor as well. And this is my little cap. And let's get it done. Little 10 microfarad capacitor, little baby. What do we have? 1.2, 1.3. We went back to fix that ice machine that needed the relay and the little toggle switch, the on-off toggle switch. So I replaced both of those, but oh my goodness, you guys, there is no space to work in there. Like, you're on the floor, literally lying on the floor so you can get a good angle with your hands and your eyes. No, where'd you go? And then the little electrical compartment is right there. The switch is right there, and there's no extra wires. So as I'm like pulling the switch out of the box, there's no wires. So like there's no, anyway, no space. Okay, we might not have enough space. It's just too bad we don't have enough wiggle room here.
The joys of ice machines.
Bernie burn. The shellacking is just not good.
It's got hot.
I know.
Try and move it back a little bit. Cut a piece off.
I'm
make sure you've
working
got
with
enough.
such a tiny little thing. I don't really want to work.
Oh, where does that go to?
So that goes right onto the middle. That goes right there. So it's gonna be fine, but. There we go. So I completely missed one wire somehow. The brown wire just didn't make it on. So fired the unit up. Nothing happened. I'm just like, oh my goodness, what have I done? What have I done? Anyway, Trevor saved the day because he brought up the little wiring diagram and he walked me through everything, and we found where that little wire went, pressed or put it back in, and we're good to go. Why? Why?
Okay.
This week we had another water source heat pump unit, the same as last week, with a blower that wasn't blowing, and got lucky. Second bad capacitor in a row. That's all that was. So we replaced the capacitor. Back to business. We have to get to the blower, which might be here, but there's this bookshelf here. Or it might be on the other side, and there's a built-in cabinet over there. So let's see what we can do. Okay. Want to pass me that meter, but I can tell you right now that this thing is busted because it's bowed out.
Want to pass it to me? I can do it down here.
It's a 10 microfarad. It's all bulgy. Okay, let's see. Nothing. Okay. But the maintenance guy there, so I've showed you many times before that there's two little test pins on those control boards where you just bridge them out and it clicks the number of clicks for the corresponding alarm. So anyway, so he calls us up. He's like, so I tried the test pins and it kind of blew something up. So, like, there was a spark in front of my eyes, so I don't know what I've done. And so we take a look at it and we're like, okay, this particular water source heat pump is a very old one. So on the board, there's what looks like test pins, but there's actually 3 instead of 2. and there are not test pins. So you definitely shorted something out. So when we took the panel off, we're like, yeah, there's just no power here, and it's got a built-in resettable fuse in the transformer. So that was busted, or not busted, that was like popped. So just push that back in and she fired up. And then one more water source heat pump in this med spa where people go, I guess, for Botox and lip fillers and liposuction and whatever other things you do to your body. I didn't take any videos in there though, because, oh my goodness, everything was so beautiful and white and perfect. And I felt like the dirtiest person walking through there. It was just like, ugh, like don't touch anything. I don't want to leave a stain or a smudge on anything. Ugh, ugh. This week we did something interesting. I've only ever done it one time before, so this was my second opportunity with this kind of task. We replaced the door heater in a walk-in freezer at this really great like pet food place. They have really high-end, high-quality pet food there. All different kinds of pet foods here. Like really high-end types of pet foods. Not like the grocery store stuff, but the actual good stuff. Oh, it's gonna be a chilly day. Today we are replacing the door heater on this walk-in freezer, and it's already frickin' freezing. Ooh. And so yeah, their door heater just wasn't working anymore, and it was starting to freeze on the actual door frame itself, which is really bad because when you pull the door open, the gasket gets stuck, like frozen onto the door, and it just rips. So now the door heater is all fixed and working properly. So when they open the door, it's just gonna pull open. It's not gonna get like frozen solid to it. I personally find this door heater thing, it's just one long cord. I think it's super interesting how it works. Look at all that melting. It melts so fast, so quickly. Crazy.
Well, that's giving you quite a bit. I haven't seen the longer there.
All right, we've got everything put back together. All of the frame is back. This guy's back. And the floor. So actually it wasn't that cold working in here today because we've had the door open the whole time and all of the power has been off. So those fans have not been running. It has not been freezing in here. However, it just started to freeze, so those fans are gonna start any second. So I'm gonna get out of here. There they go. My dad and I were called to a plastics recycling plant that we've worked for in the past. We've worked on their chillers. They've got a variety of different chillers. And I guess what they do is they take recycled plastics and glass, I think. Is there glass there? No, I think it's just plastics. Anyway, so the place stinks like old rotten beer and wine. It's so gross. And there's tiny, tiny little plastic pellets everywhere. And they've got these machines with these conveyors that like shimmering the plastic beads up towards something and down towards something. Anyway, it's a whole big thing. I wish I could take more videos inside just because it's so interesting. But there's forklifts running around and it's just madness. And it's really dark in there. Anyway, so the guy calls us in a panic. He's like, hey, please come as soon as possible. We're like, okay, we'll rearrange some stuff. We'll get to you as soon as we can. So we call him the same day. We're like, okay, we're going to be there within an hour. And he's just like, thank you. So we arrive. He takes us through the plant really quickly. He takes us to this massive machine. It's literally on like tank tracks. This unit actually kind of looks like a tank. What the hell? That's crazy. It's massive. This thing doesn't drive around, right? Surely it doesn't. And there's a chiller inside, and so he walks us to it. My dad and I look at each other and we're like, what are we getting ourselves into here? Like, what is happening? So the guy opens this massive door with this chiller inside this compartment. It's just so big. So he opens this thing down here. We're like, ah. But all of the components inside were refrigeration components. It works on R410A refrigerant. So we're like, okay, well, regardless of how crazy and intimidating this machine is, it's just HVAC components. So that's kind of cool. The only thing that sucks is that the components are so impossible to get to. They're all like built inside of this cabinet, and the cabinet doesn't seem to have panels to take off. Anyway, so what they want is 13 degrees Celsius water. That's what helps this conveyor belt do its thing. And when we arrived, it was sitting at 34 degrees Celsius. And the guy's like freaking out. He's like, nothing's working. We're losing production. Like, blah, blah, blah. So we throw some gauges on, and immediately we're like, okay, well, the system is short on refrigerant. So that's our problem. Let's top her up and see what happens, because you need production like right now. It's urgent. So we top her up with some 410A refrigerant, and immediately the compressor turns on and the water temperature starts going down. And it's gone down to like 27 degrees Celsius. And the maintenance guy there is just like, thank you. You've saved me. He's like, I can breathe. I can sleep tonight. And we're like, great. So fire this thing up. We'll watch it go. We got it down to like 18 degrees Celsius. And then we're like, okay, cool. Let's shut this thing off for a bit. And we're going to do a leak test right now. Just kind of see if we can get an idea of any kind of indication of a leak. Because the leak could be massive. It could be tiny. And we could be... Anyway, let's just take a look. There was a leak somewhere in there. Like, massively. Our leak detector went nuts. But the thing is, it went nuts on every single component in the cabinet, and in fact in the cabinet in general. Like if we brought our little leak detector near the cabinet opening, it freaked out, it screamed. And then suddenly it'd be like, okay, I'm good. And then suddenly it would scream. So we were there for hours and hours and hours just going over all of the components. We soaped everything as well. No bubbles, no indication of anything. So finally, at the end of the day, we're like, sorry, but there's definitely a leak somewhere here. It's a matter of time before you call us back. We're going to have to come back and do an extensive leak test and find this thing and figure it out. But it's impossible to get inside this cabinet because of all the components and everything. So we left. That machine worked until 9 p.m. that night. And then it was like, no more. So there's a massive leak. So luckily, they've made an alternative plan for the weekend. And we're going to go back there on Monday morning to find this leak. But apparently, they've moved this machine from where it was to a different part of the plant. So we're not sure what we're up against there because we really need to get inside the cabinet somehow, but the cabinet is all one piece. There's no actual like access panels. Anyway.
Get called back at this time, I guarantee you.
So the catering truck that we were waiting for that condensing unit for, we had it rushed in on expedited air freight, which cost us $750, if you remember from last week's vlog. Well, the shipper messed up. So instead of arriving on Tuesday like it was supposed to, it arrived on Friday afternoon. So we tried to start this job on Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Well, look what arrived. Beautiful. Nice and shiny and new. And you guys, we struggled so hard because we're not quite sure how they got the old condensing unit into this truck. We think that maybe they put it inside the little belly box, and then they raised the belly box, and then they installed it. And now that we have to remove that condensing unit from where it is at, it does not come out of that belly box. We even removed the whole front piece where there's like a door, an access door. That took us 2 hours at least to get, I don't know how many bolts, 12 bolts out. And then so that whole front comes off.
That's what I think.
They were so rusted and so tough. Anyway, so we fought with this thing for freaking hours on Friday afternoon in the dust and hot. And eventually we were defeated because we could not get the old condensing unit out. And therefore, there's no way we're getting the new one in. And also welding on the inside. Like we have to weld inside this little cabinet where you can't really even get your hands into.
Yeah, we'll have to undo that because that's not going to come off.
So you have to weld there without burning everything else in the cabinet.
And that is like right there.
Yep.
So we can turn that over.
So eventually we called the owner of the truck.
Oh, okay.
And so he's like, okay, I've just come back from a week of camping. I can be there in like 45 minutes. Okay, please come. So he came and he met us. And he took a look and he was like, I don't know either. Thank goodness, actually, because so many people are so flippant. They're like, oh, yeah, that looks hard. Good luck. Well, no, like it's actually impossible. Okay, well, we have come to a snag. We can't work any further than this. Unfortunately, we can't access what we need to access. This whole thing doesn't pull out because the dryer and the sight glass and the liquid line is all stuck in like inside the frame. So we're gonna see if we can ask them if they can get their metal fab guys to maybe drop this box so we've got a bit more space to pull this out and in and do the welding that we have to do inside. Oh my goodness, this job is a lot trickier than we expected because this really we thought was going to just pull out and the new one push right in, which is our experience in the past. But we've never really worked with one of these extra frame things before, so that sucks. So before we go to the plastics recycling factory on Monday, we are going to meet with a metal fabricator who actually built this belly box. So he's going to give us some strategies on how to get into it and then how to get the new one in and then make it safe for the road. And oh my gosh. Oh, that was a tough job. And it's not even done yet. It's not even done. So stay tuned because there will be more on that. All right, guys. Well, that's all the summertime madness I've got for you this week. Oh my goodness. It's just so crazy. So crazy. Summertime is so hard. So stressful. But it's so fun and exciting. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. Hope to see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye. Yeah, okay. Inside to where it was. Is that guy got a cat? Where the connections are made to the inside unit. What am I can't say that. Mer. So we do a preliminary. I hate you with your frickin' trucks. Okay. Yeah. The switch kept knocking out, just like on an error. Like, what do you call that? A nuisance call. It would lock out. It would lock. Fuck. I can't even say it. Ah! So we just got rid of it. It's it was faulty anyway. Fuck. With the switch that's right there and the wires, they have no bloody hell, lady. A faulty blower or a bolty blower. So awkward. We're gonna go back there on Monday morning.